All right, week 29, outlook number 2. Boy, do we have some developments here. For the British pound futures, we absolutely destroyed the liquidity points. So, if you remember back a few outlooks ago, I explained that this inefficient pricing, if it were to fail and it was not converted and we got an inefficiency object to enter an off of for continuation of sells, then we would definitely be looking to clear the liquidity point. So the subsequent analyses or the subsequent outlooks and analyses pointed to saying that we're looking at playing the immediate area to see if price were going to give the impulse higher, or were we going to convert transition to bearish price action and move lower. The previous outlook in Outlook 29.1, I detailed out that I would be looking for price to attack this liquidity point here before I look for opportunities to move higher. Now, that was just in the spur of the moment because of the current price action at that particular time. But dating back to the previous analyses, I want to say as far back as week 26, maybe, I said that if we based off the price action that occurred here, if this were to fail, this would be the target, and I had no doubt that this would be the target that price would be reaching towards. It just took a little bit of time to get there. So now that we have a break of structure yet again of this target, what we could be looking for is continuation of price to move higher towards the relatively equal highs, or specifically this liquidity point here that was a part of the bearish run, which was the last liquidity point that I had marked out for the bearish range. So what we have now is not only do we have a clearance of this liquidity point, but we cleared this liquidity, these relatively equal highs. We cleared this equal high. We broke a lot of structure. We've cleared this equal high, or this high here, and we've also cleared these equal highs here. So it's very interesting what possibly could happen from here. We're just going to have to sit on the sidelines because we have multiple breaks of structure, and we need to understand from the price action perspective, will we continue higher to reach to deeper liquidity pools as discussed in earlier outlooks, or will we choose one of these random liquidity points and go lower? If I were to be a betting man, I would say that we're going to continue higher at least to this liquidity point, which is a much deeper liquidity pool, in order to spur price action moving lower. But until the time being, it's full on buys right now, up towards these liquidity points unless price gives us some sort of transition into bearish price action. All right. So on to the NASDAQ. So on NASDAQ, we're still at the mercy of the pure price action. As detailed in the last outlook, I said that, it is highly possible that price could just create a low and move higher. Well, that's exactly what it did. Then it pulled back, created a high here and moved lower. And so now it looks like we're just consolidating or tightening up the price action. So we're still looking for one of two scenarios. One, or the initial point of two scenarios. One is we attack this liquidity point, or the other one is that we continue the bearish price action to move lower. As a betting man, I would say that we're most likely going to, I'm not going to say most likely, I would bet on price pulling back to clear out these equal highs in order to send lower, especially because we're building up a lot of liquidity on the buy side, on the discount side of this price leg. So if price were needed to continue lower, there's not enough sell side orders to send price lower, I don't see, because of the wicking and the momentum starting to slow down here. We would need to see price run some sort of sell side liquidity, or some sort of liquidity points to the high side of this price leg in order to generate or pull more sell side liquidity and send us lower. A lot of words. Let me reiterate, summarize. What I'm looking for in this scenario is for price to clear this liquidity point, activating sell side orders to send us lower. If not, the other scenario is continuation of bearish price action, negating all that has happened inside of this consolidatory area, and continue towards our identified targets, which are these relative equal lows, specifically this liquidity point, and then targeting the structural point for the breaking out of this price leg and transitioning our phase from bullish run to bullish range. All right, so that's NASDAQ. And then for the Dow Jones, yep, not much. We're just consolidating, so I'm going to leave it there. All right, week 29, outlook number 2. Peace.